Alright y'all, welcome back to Common Arms channel. Okay, so today we're checking out a montage video that was sent to me a lot. Now this is specifically about the French army, and this is actually a unit from the Foreign Legion. This is actually the Foreign Parachute Regiment, which I think there's only one Foreign Parachute Regiment that I was able to actually Google up. And they actually dated back to the 1940s, which is actually pretty freaking cool. But I think this video, or this montage video, is going to be specifically focusing on their Commando Parachute Group, which I guess is more like a Pathfinder kind of element, kind of like maybe an airborne long-range reconnaissance. So it looks pretty legit from what I've seen so far. So I want to check it out in its entirety and see if we can draw any sort of similarities from what I did in the Marines, or more specifically, I think it's probably going to relate a little bit more to what I did in the Army reconnaissance. So let's check it out. Not gonna lie, the FAMAS is kind of growing on me. It's pretty freaking dope. Alright, so I want to check out the gear, but I'm gonna wait until we can see it a little bit better. Okay, so these guys are airborne, and these guys are specifically commandos. So I think there's 3 commando parachute groups in the 2nd Foreign Parachute Regiment. That's a mouthful, I gotta say. So I guess there's a few teams. I'm not sure how big the teams actually are, but yeah, you can tell these guys are probably a little bit more specialized. They seem like they have some pretty freaking modern kit. I'm not sure how old this video actually is, but we can see they're rocking saws, they're rocking Trichcon ACOGs. They have some interesting helmets that I haven't seen, but the FAMASs seem pretty decked out. Now also we can see they have blank firing adapters, and they also had like the actual little laser halo right here. So what we're seeing here is probably a force on force exercise, which is always a good time. Okay, nice, we got some CQB stuff. Not gonna lie, the filters are a little bit too much. Okay, what was that? It looks like he had a saw, but he was pulling the trigger like multiple times. I don't know what he was doing there. Maybe I'm just seeing something weird, but I gotta say this filter definitely doesn't help with seeing things. Okay, so I'm guessing they're doing like a sort of raid, which is not something that I would expect these guys to be doing if they are a sort of Pathfinder element. Alright, some spy rigging, nice. Alright, so I'll try and explain some of these things a little bit more, because I don't really explain them as much as I think I should for people who aren't too familiar with what I'm saying. Actually, I'm not even sure what kind of helicopter they're using there. I guess it's kind of hard to see the shape when it's just the silhouette like this, but yeah, so spy rigging is special patrol insert extract, which is a very sort of niche or specific. It's mostly used for extracts, if anything, but basically when the terrain doesn't accommodate for any other sort of extract method or insert method, it is feasible. Now, it's only something that I've seen used in training, but I mean, I got to train with it myself, and it's pretty cool. But yeah, it is very niche. Now, for a Pathfinder element like this, or any sort of long-range reconnaissance element, their options are going to be pretty limited as far as what they can actually do for the extract. So if they're, compromised, or if they just need to leave the mission area, they can push to a certain distance, find a field or some sort of generally open terrain where a helicopter can find their grid, come identify them, and pick them up using this method. So it's definitely something that these guys would implement as opposed to some other units. Yeah, so we're seeing a few different sort of environments here, as far as like urban environments and some other things. It looks like a pretty cool training environment, I'm not gonna lie. I've not seen a sort of facility like this. It seems like they have a lot of 249s. Like almost half of them looks like they have the 249, which is interesting, especially for room clearing. Okay. Oh, nice. Oh, man, the MP5 SD is freaking awesome. Yeah. Okay, so that's pretty dope. Yeah, and of course, for these guys, if they are sort of Pathfinder elements or long-range reconnaissance, they need to be airborne so they can have the ability to get dropped behind enemy lines without the enemy actively affecting them. And so they can be a little bit more low-key and kind of do their thing. And obviously, they're going to be getting the reconnaissance for mostly airborne elements, but they could also get reconnaissance for general mission planning or, you know, general sort of combat arms elements. They're really showing that spy rigging. I think they're just regurgitated some clips there. Interesting. I wonder how high they are there. You couldn't really tell, huh? Yeah, it is interesting to see them doing room clearing. Of course, for any sort of commando elements, you want them to be proficient when it comes to room clearing, especially since that's going to be very, very prominent in sort of modern warfare. But yeah, for these guys, I also imagine they might want to implement these sort of areas for a patrol base. A lot of times when you see videos like this, you'll see like the recon guys or the long-range recon guys pushing in really, really crappy terrain just so they can maintain like a low-key presence. But again, if these guys are commandos, they're also going to be capable of using commando tactics like raids. So I imagine that's where the sort of CQB training is coming in here. So they got FAMASs and SCARs. Pretty cool. Was that the Beretta? Is he actually using his sights on the M2? That's interesting. Yeah, it looks like, okay. Nice. I'm not familiar with that helicopter model either, to be honest. Nice. What is that? Accuracy International Rifle, maybe? Okay, well, that's it. So it looks like at the end here, they are, yeah, doing some break contact drills, which also is going to be very pertinent when it comes to recon elements, because if you get compromised, then yeah, you're not going to want to stick around for too long. Also commando elements, because if they get compromised or if they're just coming up against a much bigger force, obviously commandos are going to be relatively low key and use pretty much like small unit tactics to achieve what they're trying to do. And if they get caught up with a very overwhelming force, breaking contact is going to be very pertinent so they can try and maintain that survivability. So I couldn't find much information online on the specific commando parachute groups, but the 2nd Foreign Parachute Regiment, again, it dates back to the 1940s, and at least looking on Wikipedia, they have some pretty extensive history as far as all the conflicts they were a part of. Of course, like the Global War on Terror and Mali and whatnot, so those guys are definitely have some experience under their belt. So if you guys have any information to add specifically about the 2nd Foreign Parachute Regiment or the commando parachute groups, definitely throw it down below, because it is nice to get a better appreciation that way from people who have either served or just have a little bit more information than you can kind of find easily on Wikipedia and whatnot. Now, I really love checking out specifically recon elements, but also like the long range sort of Pathfinder and commando elements. Because yeah, of course you need generally smaller teams, but you need like really freaking solid dudes so they can go and do their thing and not have a whole lot of supports, because these guys are going to be pretty much working by themselves and kind of supporting each other for a certain amount of time, potentially an extended period of time. So you need some really solid people. I was looking at the actual fitness test for the commando parachute group, and it looks pretty crazy. You can check it out on Wikipedia, but yeah, it mentions like a 30-kilometer tap in full kit, basically. So that sounds like a doozy in and of itself, and there's like a long laundry list of other qualifications you need to meet. So, of course, for these guys, they're going to be pretty legit. So let me know what you guys think. Again, if you guys have anything to add, put it down in the comment section. Again, these montage videos are cool to give us a better appreciation, and we can kind of understand some of the tactics they might implement. But but sometimes it's going to be a little bit harder to get some good information or some good videos about these units through, montage videos or just YouTube videos in general. So of course, if you guys have anything to add, throw it down below so we can get a better appreciation for this dope unit. But thank you guys for watching. Recommend anything down below or in the Discord so I can check it out and share it with the rest of y'all. Again, I really do appreciate the recommendations. We have some pretty solid stuff on the list that I need to get to. So yeah, stay tuned. But that is it for this video. I will see y'all in the next one.